It was only after Han Li secretly crossed into the spirit realm that he discovered. The spirit realm, which countless nascent soul stage grandmasters yearn for, was unexpectedly an abandoned interface. Not only was it extremely difficult to ascend to the immortal realm through cultivation, but it also faced a massive purge from the immortal realm. Once the dreamland of grandmasters in the mortal realm, the spirit realm had a close connection with the immortal realm in ancient times. As long as cultivators had sufficient cultivation base, they could ascend to the immortal realm through normal channels. However, due to some unknown special incident, the connection between the spirit realm and the immortal realm was completely severed. Coupled with the gradual depletion of the spirit realm's own resources, it gradually became a forgotten existence. In this interface, ascending to the immortal realm became an almost impossible task. Before Han Li arrived in the spirit realm, there had never been a case of a cultivator successfully ascending. What was even more desperate was that the cultivation bottleneck in the spirit realm was extremely harsh. There were dozens of cultivators who were stuck at the peak of the Mahayana stage and could not break through for a long time, and there were even thousands of cultivators stuck in the ordinary Mahayana realm. They spent endless years but still could hardly touch the threshold of the immortal realm. In such a desperate situation, the spirit realm explored 3 possible methods of ascension, but each came with extremely high risks and uncertainties. The first method, traditional tribulation transcendence for ascension. This method required first refining one's cultivation to the peak of the Mahayana stage, then secluding oneself for thousands of years to adjust one's cultivation base, the spiritual treasures used, and the physical strength to the most perfect state, and finally facing the ascension tribulation directly. If one succeeded in overcoming the tribulation, they could ascend to the immortal realm in one step, but if they failed, their soul would be scattered and destroyed. Since the spirit realm had long been disconnected from the immortal realm, the success rate of this traditional tribulation transcendence for ascension was almost zero. Even Han Li, who later had unfathomable cultivation and could crush 8 Mahayana powerhouses alone, spent a full 8,000 years preparing for this tribulation before barely succeeding in passing it. This shows how difficult it was. The second method, ascension by being noticed by immortal realm powerhouses. This method was full of randomness. Only cultivators with extremely unique talents or treasures might be noticed by powerhouses in the immortal realm and then forcibly brought into the immortal realm across realms. Han Li's capable companion, the soul-lifting beast, entered the immortal realm through this method. At that time, Han Li was in the middle stage of the body integration realm, and he had earth-shattering battle with his enemy, Palace Master Yu, who was in the early stage of the body integration realm, in the Nether River area. During the battle, in order to win, Palace Master Yu merged his main body with his spiritual pet, the Thunder Beast, and unexpectedly broke through to the Mahayana stage. The sudden surge in strength made Han Li realize the danger immediately, and he was about to die on the spot. At the critical moment, the soul-lifting beast woke up unexpectedly and used its heaven-defying devouring ability, swallowing the essence soul of the Thunder Beast that had just merged into Palace Master Yu in one bite. However, this overly overbearing ability directly alarmed a certain powerhouse in the immortal realm. This powerhouse immediately tore through the space and under Han Li's shocked gaze, forcibly took the soul-lifting beast to the immortal realm. The third method, ascension dependent on powerful backgrounds and forces. This method relied on having a powerful background and forces. As long as there was an immortal with a solid foundation in the immortal realm and a secret technique to communicate with each other, it was not difficult to ask the other party to help and move freely between the spirit realm and the immortal realm. However, this method was like a fantasy for most cultivators in the spirit realm. What was even more terrifying was that this kind of connection sometimes brought not blessings, but calamities. Immortal Ma Liang from the immortal realm descended to the spirit realm through this method, bringing a rain of bloodshed to the entire spirit realm. Ma Liang was the direct disciple of Tao ancestor Zhuyuan Crown. This time, he went to the spirit realm despite breaking the precepts, mainly for 2 purposes. First, to track down the whereabouts of the mysterious small green bottle. Second, to find Skeleton Brother, who had betrayed the sect. But from the moment Ma Liang descended to the spirit realm, he turned into a god of death. Wherever he went, lives were destroyed. He massacred a small country in the lower realm for his own selfish desires, causing the death of hundreds of millions of beings. To refine a certain magical treasure, he unscrupulously carried out large-scale blood sacrifices of the creatures on the continent. 3 Mahayana powerhouses on the Zuetian continent noticed the anomaly and immediately came to investigate. They originally thought that with the 3 of them joining forces, even if they could not subdue Ma Liang, they could hold him off for a while. However, Ma Liang's strength far exceeded their expectations. In just a few encounters, the three Mahayana powerhouses were instantly killed by Ma Liang. This sudden tragedy soon aroused the vigilance of the top sects on the Zuetian continent. To stop Ma Liang from continuing his evil deeds, the major sects quickly gathered 12 Mahayana cultivators, took out the Zuetian treasures collected by the sects, set up an extremely powerful heaven and earth grade formation, and prepared to besiege Ma Liang. But Ma Liang only used 30% of his strength to easily break the heaven and earth grade formation. The 12 Mahayana ancestors who were powerful and revered by thousands in the spirit realm were crushed and killed by Ma Liang on the spot without even organizing a decent resistance. After killing the 12 Mahayana cultivators, Ma Liang became even more unscrupulous and directly launched a crazy massacre on the Zuetian continent, turning the entire continent into a living hell in an instant. Later, under the leadership of Li Shuangong, Ma Liang moved to the Liming continent and set his target on the super-powerful clan here, the Jiaoxi clan. He first casually killed 2 Mahayana powerhouses of the Jiaoqi clan, then attacked 6 top Mahayana cultivators of the clan who carried Zuetian treasures, and also killed them all with an overwhelming force. Moreover, he used a trick to instigate a true spirit of the Jiaoqi clan to kill the other 2 true spirits in the clan with his own hands. Through this series of actions, the Jiaoxi clan, once the most powerful clan in the spirit realm with boundless glory, declined from then on. Even so, Ma Liang still did not stop his killing spree. He went to the Fengyuan continent and killed the supreme elder of the Jiatun clan, which ranked among the top 5 in the spirit realm. Ma Liang's actions completely ignited the anger of the cultivators in the spirit realm. To protect the spirit realm, all major forces put aside their differences, joined forces to form an immortal extermination team, and set up the most powerful killing formation in the spirit realm, preparing for a final life or death battle with Ma Liang. However, when Ma Liang unleashed his heaven-defying supernatural power, the immortal extermination team was instantly plunged into a desperate situation, and half of the top Mahayana powerhouses were killed by him on the spot. At the critical moment, Ming Zun of the Helian Merchant Alliance, in order to break the deadlock, did not hesitate to choose to self-destruct the formation, sacrificing himself to create an opportunity for his teammates. Zuan Juling also exhausted his lifelong cultivation to attack Ma Liang with all his strength. Under the desperate struggle of the two, the indestructible immortal body of Ma Liang finally showed cracks. Han Li, who had been lurking nearby looking for an opportunity, keenly seized this once-in-a-lifetime chance, immediately sacrificed the Zuetian sword of slaying immortals and launched a surprise attack. Accompanied by a sharp sword light, this nightmare of the spirit realm finally came to an end. Han Li not only saved thousands of lives in the spirit realm but also truly became famous across the entire realm through this battle.